Now that we have our data loaded, I want to walk through some basic things that we can do with that data. So I'm going to go to full screen again, and as a reminder, we have the Zambia data set from Unit 6 open, and we have 4 variables, an indicator for whether the child is male, an indicator for whether the child lives in an urban or rural community, whether or not that child participates in early childhood education, and then the family wealth quintile. And we'll talk more about this in Unit 6, but this is called categorical data, right? It's indicating a category, right? You're male, non-male, urban, rural, childhood education, no childhood education. It's not like a test score that goes from 0 to 100, and there's just a continuous range. This last one, family wealth quintile, has 5 categories, so technically it is a categorical variable, but for the purposes of today, I think we might treat it like a continuous variable from 1 to 5. So some simple things that we can do in terms of data exploration is just to get an idea of what our data looks like, because the whole point of data analysis and statistics is that there's too much information in this table of 500 values to really understand by eye what's going on. So let's say we wanted to know how many male children we have in this data set. Well, it's pretty simple. We just type table and then the name of our data set, which is Zambia, and then this is an important thing. The $ is saying something inside of our data set, so inside the Zambia data set, and it's going to automatically bring up those variables. So I could type, but I'm just going to click male. And now when I run this command, at the bottom, I see the breakdown. So this is telling me in this 500 student data set, 257 are females, 243 are males. I can repeat this if I want to know the breakdown of urban and rural students. So I'm going to do table, Zambia, $ urban. Pretty similar, in fact, very close to 50-50, right? It's 247 rural, 253 urban. Let's say I wanted, instead of the absolute numbers, I wanted to know the proportion, like, okay, well, what percent of the students are male? Well, I already could do that by hand. I could take 243 over 500. I could just use the calculator, and it's telling me that it's 48.6% of students are male. But if I wanted to get that directly, I can use the mean function. So I can say mean, which is the average, Zambia, $ male, and it's going to give me the same thing, right? It's going to give me the proportion of students who are male. Let's do some of this for our wealth variable. Table, Zambia, wealth. This is going to give me the breakdown across the 500 students of how wealthy their family is. And it's, again, a pretty even distribution. We have 106 people in the bottom 20%, 103 people in the top 20%, and so forth. If I wanted the average, I could again use the mean function, Zambia wealth. And that's telling you the average wealth rating in this data set is 3.026. Makes sense. Maybe I want the range of the wealth variable. Now we already know it's going to go from 1 to 5, but there we go. R is telling us the lowest value is 1, the highest value is 5. Maybe I want the standard deviation of the wealth variable, right? And there it is, 1.45 or so. And this is all well and good. We can run our individual commands on those variables. However, it can be a bit tedious if you wanted to do this for everything. So a really helpful function is the summary function. So if I do summary Zambia $ wealth, this is going to give me a lot of information. It's giving me the minimum value, 1, the maximum value, 5, the median value, 3, the mean value, 3.026, and then the quartile. So this is like the 25th percentile and the 75th percentile. So we can get a lot of that information really quickly by using the summary command. So these are great ones to play around with. Summary, mean, SD, range. There are others that we'll talk about. Table is really useful, but always a really important first step is to begin the exploration of your data.